So we finally know what Google's gaming platform is going to look like. I think a lot of people, I don't want to say we're excited to learn about this and to find out exactly what it is and how it's going to work, because I don't think many people were excited. I know I wasn't even the least bit excited, but I was very interested, and I think that's where most people ended up finding themselves is, okay, like Google, knowing the type of tech juggernaut they are and the type of resources they have, and how if they choose to enter a new market, there's a pretty good chance they could actually do something within that market. But it's not a guarantee. It doesn't really matter how big of a company you are. There's really no guarantee. And I was very interested to learn about this. And now that we know about it, I'm going to be a little bit brutal here, but I think this is kind of a fail. And the reason why I think this is a fail, this streaming service, Stadia, I don't even know how you say it really. It's the worst name ever. I mean, out of everything they could have come up with, it is literally the worst thing ever. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think Stadia, is that a good name for a gaming platform or a streaming service? I don't think it is. But I think this is kind of a fail because based off of what we know now about it, I don't know, man. I'm just getting flashbacks from Microsoft's Xbox One reveal back in 2013, and I'm looking at what Google's doing here, and they're just doing too much way too soon, and I just don't think people are going to be very interested in this, at least not now. Now, maybe Google realizes this. Maybe they realize that, this is a long-term thing, and they don't expect huge results within the first couple of years, and they're going to stick with it in the long term. But looking at what they're offering, let's see. It says, revealed today, the only hardware is a controller. A Play Now button allows gamers to jump right into play. Service available for PC, tablets, phones. It will be available in 2019 in the US, UK, Canada, and most of Europe. So far, what we don't know, how much it will cost, what games will be available, how does it work with capped data plans. So yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot to go over here. I mean, it's a lot of information, and I'm not going to go into all the details. I know that there's a controller, and they're claiming that you're going to be able and this is the important part, you need a high-speed internet connection to use this first and foremost. If you don't have a high-speed internet connection, you're not going to be able to use it the way it's intended to be used. So that's automatically a huge problem for a large demographic of people. But if you do have a good internet connection and a high-speed internet connection, they claim you're going to be able to stream games. I think Doom Eternal was announced for it. I know that's one game at 4K, 60 FPS with HDR, and eventually they're going to support 8K and 120 frames a second and all this stuff that just sounds a little bit too good to be true. And, honestly, what I've learned throughout life is that if it sounds too good to be true, chances are it is. Now, it is Google we're talking about, and again, this is just the first announcement. Maybe they're going to stick with it for the long haul. Maybe they can make it happen. But you're going to need, I believe, 25 megabytes per second to be able to, an upload speed of 25 to actually use this the way it's intended to be used. But even then, 4K 60 FPS, you're telling me I'm going to be able to just pick up this controller, use it with my phone or my PC or whatever, right? Or even, it's TVs that have Chrome built into it, and I'm going to be able to have lag-free or, an enjoyable gaming experience at 4K 60 FPS. Something just tells me that's not going to happen. But I feel like this is not something that people are going to jump on, honestly, because if you think about it, like, it's just too soon. Like, people don't want this. Gamers don't want this, right? Like, I can't speak for the casual mass market, but I feel like I can speak for a lot of gamers when I say people are getting flashbacks of OnLive with this. okay, with this streaming service. And a lot of people were wondering, is this gaming platform that Google is creating, is it going to be able to actually compete with Sony or Xbox? And I don't think it can compete with Xbox as of right now, let alone Sony. And we're not even talking about Nintendo because that's just a different thing entirely. I don't see Google being a viable competitor, if I'm being honest. At least not anytime soon. I mean, again, if they plan to support this for the long term, and if things change rapidly, which they very well could in the next couple of years, maybe, but just I could be completely wrong. This is just the first announcement we're getting, but I'm trying to read the room here and also go based off of how I feel. I don't care about this at all. I just don't. You guys already know I don't care about game streaming even remotely. I'm not necessarily against it entirely, but I'm against the idea of a streaming-only future, or a future where 90% of people are consuming their games and playing their games through streaming. I'm not a big fan of that idea at all. And I just really didn't see a world in which Google was just going to step in and be like, hey guys, this is what we have, it's awesome, and everybody's suddenly jumping for joy and excited and like, can't wait. No, I just don't see that. I didn't feel that way hearing about Google being at GDC and announcing their gaming platform, and I don't think most people felt that way. Now that we know what it is, I don't think people are excited for this, man. Like, I really just think people are kind of, at the very least, I think there are some people who are optimistic about it, but I don't know. I do not see this being a viable competitor. Now, the big question is Google going to cultivate studios, first-party studios, to develop first-party content, in other words, exclusive content for their gaming platform, which, in my opinion, if they want to have any chance of success at all in the gaming market, they're going to need to do that. I'm pretty sure they are. I think it was announced, I'm pretty sure, again, all this stuff's coming in very rapidly, but I'm pretty sure it was announced that Jade Raymond, I'm sure most of you know who she is. She is famous for Assassin's Creed and a bunch of other stuff. Very prominent figure within the gaming industry. She, I think, is heading up first party, or whatever Google's first party is going to be. So it's definitely a good thing, a good get on their part. But it's hard to say like what we can expect from this, right? Like, is Google going to look at Sony and the way Sony's been handling their first party and their first party efforts and studios and try to mimic that and mirror that? Well, God knows they have the money to be able to do that and the resources. So maybe that is, and if they can do that, a couple years from now, we might be having a very different discussion when it comes to Google's gaming platform and streaming service. But that has yet to be seen. As far as I'm seeing right now, I don't see anything talking about announcements of any big exclusive games or new IPs or anything that, when you're talking about announcing a new gaming platform. I mean, it's nice to see that they're getting some third-party support, but that's to be expected, honestly. Again, most people right now who are gaming, they're gaming on PC, they're gaming on PlayStation, they're gaming on Xbox, and all three of those platforms already have amazing third-party support, and even the Nintendo Switch is getting pretty decent third-party support. So I don't see anything here that gets me excited, and I'm not really sure why anybody else would be very excited about this, either. I mean, maybe just the idea of being able to play anywhere with just a controller, okay, maybe, yeah, that's cool. But I don't know, man. I think Google has a really, really uphill battle here if they want to be taken seriously within this market. But it is Google. I have to, keep reaffirming that. Just like Microsoft with Xbox, things can get real bad. But these are tech giants, and they have a lot of weight, a lot of money that can be used. But they are businesses, and they're not going to do things that just don't make, business sense. So, yeah, I don't know. Everything I'm seeing here, not very exciting. Kind of a fail, in my opinion. But, you know, who knows? Maybe there are people who are very excited about this. I'll ask you guys, are any of you who are listening to this, are you excited about this? Are you optimistic about it? I mean, if you own a console right now, if you're playing on PlayStation or Xbox or PC, did anything Google announce here make you think, oh, you know, maybe this could make me switch platforms and I want to use Google as my main platform? I'd be very interested to hear if anybody feels that way, but me, frankly, I don't. The one last thing I do want to add here at the end, which I probably should have talked about a little bit more in depth earlier, but I still think it's important, is that apparently with this streaming service that Google is going to offer, I don't even want to say the name. Like, it bothers me so much. I don't even want to say the name. It's so bad. Google streaming service. I'd rather just call it that. Apparently, when you stream from them, the games you play, you're going to basically have the power, supposedly, of a 10 teraflop GPU. And they specifically compared it to the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, which is kind of funny because, I mean, it's like, I get the comparison you're trying to make, but you're trying to compare a streaming service, you know, the potential power you can get from a streaming service, to dedicated hardware boxes, right? Where if you're playing on an Xbox One X or PS4 Pro, you're gonna get a, you know, seamless experience. I mean, I don't care how much power you have, right? Like, I don't care how much power you have that you're offering. If the internet connection is not there, or it's not stable enough, and you're getting hiccups, and, you know, every like 30 seconds there's like judder or something, or just, you know, the frame rate's dropping, it's not gonna matter at all. Like, it's just not gonna matter. Not to mention that power itself doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it is important. I'm not saying it's not. It is important, but believe me when I tell you that if there's something I've learned as a gamer, and from other, you know, just talking about like the gaming market and what gamers want, they want games. Okay, they want new games, they want fresh ideas, they want big games, they want things that are exciting, that look new, that look exciting. And everything I'm seeing here is kind of the opposite of that, right? Like, it's just so weird. Like, I don't understand how these companies, like, are we supposed to get excited to hear that games that we're probably already playing, or games that we're already probably planning, like Doom Eternal, like, where anybody who's interested in that game already has plans to buy it on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation? Are we supposed to just suddenly be excited? Oh, I'm going to want to play this on Google streaming service now. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And you know, the one thing I did read here that is also very important that we have to analyze as well is data caps. Like, data caps are still a thing. You know, if your ISP that you're with has a data cap of like 300 gigabytes or something like that, I don't know what it is anymore, but it's ridiculous. They shouldn't exist. But data caps, for those who don't know what that means, is if you go over a certain limit, like 300 gigabytes per month of, like downloading stuff and uploading stuff and streaming whatever, they can throttle your speed. Like, they can just lower your speed because you went over your data cap. And I hate to, you know, have to be the one to let Google know, but that's going to be a huge problem for a lot of people. Because even if you do get people who do want to buy into this and do want to utilize this service, if they run into this problem, that's not Google's fault. It's the ISP that they're with. They're the one that's at fault. But still, like, they could basically go from being able to play these games no problem and stream them no problem. They go over their data cap, and then their speed gets throttled, and suddenly they can't play it at all. I mean, these are just, you know, issues that are very, you know, we're in the early days, so I'm sure they're going to find a way to try to work them out. They have to have already thought about some of this stuff, or if not all of it. I mean, these are big tech companies that are worth billions and billions of dollars, so surely they're thinking about it, right? But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Google's service here. I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on it, and I'm sure if you're somebody listening to this that's very excited for it and very pumped for it, you probably didn't like what I had to say. But, you know, I encourage you, if that's how you feel, let us know why down in the comments below you don't see it this way, and you don't see it as a fail, and you think it's going to be awesome in the future, and all that stuff. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Leave the video a like if you did enjoy it, or if you do agree with it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that, because it helps tremendously. But until next time, guys, take care.